Well, Timmy, after I don't know how long have we been doing this? Year plus. I don't like Zoom conferences. I don't like the Zoom meetings. I always like to do in-person podcasts, but I buckled. Podcast. We're back, Zoom style. And
I know you hated the idea of Zoom. We've only done one Zoom,
and the
now
only
we're
reason we
down the
did that
street
because
from
it
each
was
other.
yeah. We're right
it was
now 2 miles away from each other, and our buddy
Yep.
Tay has joined.
What's up,
there
Tay?
in
Tay's
Cigar.
super LinkedIn. He's super LinkedIn right now.
That is such an inside joke that only the three of us would get. Not even like our ladies would get that joke.
Nope.
But we're back podcasting. Coronavirus changed everything. Pandemic podcast. Nice. You're in with Tay over your shoulder. Who knows where you are? I'm in Cash's room now that me and Liv have converted this into an office space. I've got our big board right here. We've got the big boy books behind me and the big Cassius on the wall.
That's Cash's room / the war room.
Yes, the war room. Hey, did you see? Speaking of war rooms, they officially announced today NFL teams will be doing virtual drafts. I don't know why that was official, but I saw that. And I heard some of the Browns guys talking about, so the coach presumably will be in Minnesota. The GM will be in Cleveland with the Haslams. And then who's the guy who's out in San Diego? I don't know if he's president or something like that. The big analytics guy.
Dude.
Yeah. He's
going
to be in
San
San Diego.
He's always in San Diego. He never goes to Cleveland. Yeah.
But he wouldn't be there for the draft. He would be there for the draft. So they're going to be, and that's just the top. Well, I don't even know if that's the top, but that's only 6 people. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 5 people, whatever that is. That's only the 5 people. Who knows where everyone else on the team that's going to be there to be a part of the draft. This is going to be wild how the draft works. I can't wait to see how ESPN and NFL Network, I assume they're doing a show as well, how they set this up, because they're going to have to get cameras to all these places. Are they going to do just Zoom calls, or are they putting physical quality cameras at certain spots? How are they doing their, like they would do the hits before where they would have one person specifically in Cleveland if they got the number 1 pick, or whatever the hot story is going to be, new coach, new GM, that thing. I wonder how they'll do all that stuff. If everyone's just going to be in their damn living rooms, because I guess we're not getting any access by being at that place anyway.
No, it's crazy to think that. And I don't know if they're going to use Zoom, because Zoom has got some backlash about like security issues. Who would it be like someone hacks into the Browns, top 10? Hey, we're about to trade up, and they're hacked, and then they just delete that, which is very capable.
Even just that stuff, I heard people saying they think drafts will be limited because the access and like being able to communicate. So if I want to do I don't know how this works on the NFL back end, but if I want to do a trade, I assume I'm talking to a handful of people on my team. Then I have to go to the Cardinals and talk to them and a handful of people on that end. Like it's just all the logistics of it could take draft picks.
Draft. There you go. I know what you're talking about. I think I'd be interested to know what technology each team is using, because there's like things like Zoom, there's things like Slack, they could just be using a WhatsApp group. They could all just be like, if it's 5 to 6 guys, they could just be using a FaceTime, basically FaceTiming each other and staying on it and making those decisions. It's weird. I don't know. There's probably a lot of different things that they could use. Yeah,
I wonder. Yeah, well, I know Google did something. I know someone who works at Google, and they said, she said that instead of the normal Google Hangout setup, they've now done the block setup, how Zoom has it, so everyone can do it. Like just that simple thing like that can change, and everyone wants to be on there because you can see everybody's faces. So that, I would imagine that comes from the top down though. So NFL says, we want you to use this, and they're also, in ties with Microsoft. So whatever's going to make sense with them technology-wise, I think they're the official
they do.
partner.
That's right. Yeah, that makes sense. So I would bet they use a lot of Microsoft Teams then. I bet. Microsoft Teams is like Google Hangouts. Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft.
Yeah, I bet that makes sense. Okay. Wait, we just figured out here business BS.
Yeah, I would assume that's the thing they're going to use, because they want to all be able to communicate, because then they have to communicate in, 15 minutes you get for the first round?
Yeah.
You get 15,
Yeah,
so you got 15 minutes to communicate, get all this in. Once you go to the second and third days, it's even less. It's like 5 minutes or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's 10,
You know what?
10 for the second day, and then it's a
The,
logistics nightmare.
the draft is going to come into a major Microsoft commercial if that's the case. If they're all using Microsoft Teams, that's going to be huge for them.
Well, or a Microsoft fuck up.
If it glitches, yeah.
Yeah, that'll look awful.
Yeah.
If they go through all this and it doesn't, if they have specific issues, because I'm sure they will specifically talk about, we're working Microsoft Hangout. Used to call it Hangouts. Yeah. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
Teams.
Teams.
Yeah.
Microsoft Teams. So I'm sure they're going to say a gazillion times we're doing Microsoft Teams, and they'll probably run ads with it.
Yeah.
To tell you about it. And then if there is issues, it's going to not look great. But I mean, think about the hundreds of people. And then here's step 2. So this is just from a logistics. This is our pick type thing. Now think about how they'll call the athlete. That's an easy thing. But how the teams will call the athlete, I should say. But now how will ESPN set up all of those with the teams? Are they and how many? If you're an athlete, who's at your draft party? It's not a draft party. You look like an asshole if you have a draft party now. That's why I've reached out to a couple of guys. And
why do you think they look like an asshole?
If you have 25 people like you've seen before at draft parties, why aren't you social distancing? Like you.
Because of that. Okay.
Yeah. Even if it's family, you can't. 25 people is too many.
There's got to be an limit. Yeah, is 10 still the limit? What they're talking about?
Somebody call me. Does that mess up my thing? Did you feel that?
Are you fucking kidding me? No, I didn't at all, actually.
Watch your language, so. It clicked out of my ears for a second. Turn my phone off anyway. What'd you say? What was that?
I said, is 10 still the limit that they're saying?
Well, each state is different. So, there's still states that don't have lockdown rules.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you are, but just from a perception, because you have to play the PR game when you're in the NFL, from a perception, it's got to be tight knit. I also think that from a draft perspective, that's the opportunity, is to showcase what your process is, because it's different than it's been any other year. I told you the Michael Pittman Jr. is one guy, the USC wide receiver, who's been doing a great job of showcasing like what's been going on. Yeah, I just saw he put out a YouTube video a week or two ago saying pro day canceled, and then talked about that. And it's a unique opportunity to show what's going on behind this camera, like what's back here behind what you're doing, and showcase what's going on throughout the day. Like, how are you sweating? Like you're sweating through the calls, and oh shit, I thought I was going to go at the 28th pick. Now, if unless somebody trades up, I'm not going until 34, or those second, third day guys. I think it's such an opportunity, but like I know, nobody's going to do that shit. They're all just going to rely on the big media companies to come in and say, hey, showcase this, do this. Where I think they should, I would love for us, and we were talking to a couple of guys, but with this whole craziness, it's not been able to happen. But I would have loved for us to, I guess it still could potentially happen, but I would love for us to be able to work with an athlete to showcase his process starting today and the next 2 weeks, to be able to show, all right, how are you still working out? Because you got to work out and move, right? Yeah. I know I talked to one kid who's in New Jersey, and he's working out every day. It's different. He can't go to a gym, but he's outside doing stuff. I ran into 2 guys today. They're already in the league, but I ran into 2 guys today just running up this hill and doing different speed work type drills. But what is the draft day going to be like? What are you doing? Who's over? Why'd you do that? Showcase the calls, the agents coming in. If the agent's not there, is the agent calling you on the phone? What's the agent saying? What are you thinking? Like, where is all this going on? Like, how cool would that be to show?
Yeah, definitely. And our minds think a little bit different. I think I'd be going huge brand, because obviously when it's on ESPN or it's in a specific facility, they own basically the IP. So what sponsors are being broadcasted there, what's being shown. But now you're in your own house. You have a lot more flexibility. So obviously a lot of advertisers are shutting down what they're spending right now, but there's still a lot that are going to be doing stuff where you could say, all right, give me $150,000 and you'll be presenting title of my draft day experience, or whatever it might be,
Yeah. So when I cut this video up and I put it on my Instagram and our Instagram, you're going to have this dumbass thing back there, and people are going to be like, that's so distracting. What the hell is that? Anyway,
but
that's
the office.
I know, but that's a great idea because like my Cassius sign back here could be, what's the big New Era? Are they the official NBA or is
Yeah,
that NFL?
they have
Whatever
NFL,
hats,
MLB, NBA. Yeah,
whatever.
they're
But
all.
that's the opportunity right there is to show like instead of this right there, it's brand X, and you could totally blast that out because you're right. You do own that, and most people
Yeah.
don't think that way at all. And I wasn't thinking about that. I'm thinking more of let's showcase the process. You're thinking dollar signs up front. I'm thinking dollar signs on the back end. Same thing.
Well, I think, and even stick to the New Era. What New Era could do too is, whoever they're working with, if they do something like that, here, now I'm home. I'm going to sign 50 of these hats right now. I'm going to put them up on eBay. I'm going to auction them off, and I'm going to give half of it to COVID victims or something like that. Something like that. That's a goodwill thing, but also good PR for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. They also have to. I didn't think about this until a guy mentioned it today too. Is those? Well, there's some like Joe Burrow. They don't need to send all 32 teams, but there's guys in the middle of the draft that they probably got to send all 32 hats to because they're going to put your hat on still.
Yeah.
But that's just logistics for this. But there is opportunity there. You probably didn't see this. This came out within the last couple hours. Maybe you did see it. I don't know what you're following. But the WNBA's draft is going to be on ESPN. It was going to be on ESPN2. I guess they got a lot of shit. This is what that Twitter account said. She thinks she works for The Athletic. Bleacher Report. Works for Bleacher Report. She said after getting a bunch of shit from ESPN or getting a bunch of shit on Twitter, they bumped from ESPN2 to ESPN. Probably more realistically is they don't have anything to put on ESPN. And let's put it on and let's give a showcase. But with the WNBA draft being on ESPN, that's up. I wonder if the WNBA's ever had this massive Friday night, everyone sitting on their ass at home showcase. The biggest stage in sports right now will be in 10 days, next Friday, the WNBA draft. And
yeah, it's great. How many people will go into that draft?
I don't know. I don't know shit about shit.
Off the top of your head.
As far as logistics of the WNBA draft, but it's they've got a girl from Oregon is one of the best players, if not the best player of all time. Have you been following her? Tay up there.
Kobe's girl.
Our boy Tay.
Tay knows.
Oh,
yeah. Shout out Tay.
Tay. The guy up there. He's a coach. He's a football guy at Oregon now. He probably doesn't know actually because he just got there a couple months ago or 6 weeks ago even. But so she's the projected number one pick. I don't know the depth of the draft. I really have no idea. You have no idea. But what that means is there's such an opportunity for these people to be different. Same thing, branding. Talk about doing behind the scenes stuff. I also think it's a way for current WNBA players to take advantage of this huge number of uptick in views and do something on their own. I talked to a player. She does some hosting stuff too, but I talked to a player the other day about doing content and she wants to do more hosting stuff. But this is a perfect opportunity to create something around this. This is going to be the thing that people are talking about more than anything else that day, at least as far as sports are concerned. Opportunity.
Yeah, no, totally. I think it's like if you envision how it's going to run, it's like the actual draft. It's like the announcers are there on stage and then they kick it to like a reporter or an analyst off to into a booth or somewhere else. That's basically what it is. It's like you become that additional resource of information, but you're just on Twitter where everyone is or wherever you broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
eyeballs.
Well, I also think if you're one of these bigger names, one of the girls I've talked to is a pretty decent name in the sport. If you're one of those names, why can't you set up 5 conversations? Like, hey, I know you're getting drafted. You're getting drafted.
Yeah.
You're getting drafted. When you're done, let's have a conversation. Let's jump on IG Live. Let's do this, me and you, and have a conversation. We'll talk it. I'll cut it up. That'll be on my stuff. You hear Cash in the background.
Oh, barely.
Oh, nice. He's like playing in the other room. Maybe update. Cash said "mama" yesterday. We think.
Yeah, that's breaking news. Well, yesterday or depends when this airs. A few days ago. I'm gonna put it up tonight. I'm gonna cut it right now. Hey.
I didn't post it. Tag it. The NFL draft, WNBA draft. People are talking about today. Let's get people talking about it. True. Us get involved in the convo.
They're also talking about UFC. What do you got for that? the breaking news of UFC on some island.
49. Not necessarily, not this one. He said venue
for
2
the next
months.
2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and then moving to – so UFC – Dana White's been saying since all this happened, he said, I'm still continuing to put on fights. I don't care. Yeah. We're making it happen. And he's done it. So they're going to be – UFC 249 is in 11 days at a undisclosed, quote-unquote, location. They don't want people knowing where the hell they're going, so that's what it is. I know that obviously the people who are fighting know where it is, and people around fighting know where it is. I saw a location. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's on a Native American reservation, so they can get away. They don't have to follow all these rules. They can do what they want to do and make that happen. Dana said also for the next 2 months that they'll be there, and then he's got some island he's working on getting people there so they can do international fights, and who knows, but how damn cool would that be?
That's great.
But this card, so the initial fight was Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson, now canceled for the 5th time.
I know.
But now we got Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje.
I personally, I mean, I love the idea that the fight's happening. I love that they're like, fuck it, we don't give a shit. We'll go to a private island. We'll do whatever the fuck we say, or whatever we want to do. I don't like that Tony took a fight outside of Khabib's, even if it is for interim, even if it is for a good amount of money, because we may never see that fight now. May.
Yeah, potentially not. And for all you like non-MMA people that are listening, we're of course MMA dorks. We talk a lot of MMA, but here's the thing. So if they don't fight now, who knows what lockdown right now. So what happened was Khabib, who trains in California, went back to Russia, didn't think the fight was going to happen, didn't have location, blah, 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 blah. That's why that's off. But Khabib also will – so this fight's happening April 18th. You figure they can't fight for like 3 months. Well, Khabib has Ramadan that comes up whenever that is, like late summer. I don't know.
September, I believe. Yeah.
I think it's – no. I think it's earlier.
Okay.
But that messes up with – like I remember I had guys that used to play with us, and they would – I want to say it was even late July or August. I don't know specifically. But anyway, so timing-wise, that's going to come next. He won't be able to fight for months. And then after that, so after Ramadan's over, then he gets into training camp, and then he can fight. So you got all that
October,
time.
November, maybe.
Yeah, that's realistic. Now, if Tony doesn't take that fight, he doesn't get paid now. He doesn't get paid then. And then also, who knows if he just gets passed over for a counter fight in October. Because that's a bigger money fight.
Yeah, true. But also if Tony loses this fight, now he's behind Gaethje. Now he's probably behind Conor. So he'll take some other fights. He'll make some money, but he's not getting the title fight.
Yeah.
And what the fight that everybody wants to see.
It is, but I mean, I don't know what his bank account looks like. I think you take it if you can get it. You never know what's going to happen next. I also think so just from a fight perspective, I'm looking at my computer screen, and I don't have this full screen, so I see some of the stuff. And one of the screenshots is from James Krause, who's UFC anyway, and is
the best too.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, he'll fight it anyway. Yeah. But he's also Megan Anderson's coach, who we do work with, and they did an Instagram live 20 minutes after this was announced, which was great. I love that she did that, or they did that. It was Megan's idea, but. He said he goes, I think Justin Gaethje wins if Justin Gaethje wins, it's early. Tony's had a full training camp, and Tony's also a cardio monster, and Gaethje's gassed out a couple times too. So if Gaethje wins, it's got to be early. He also said he's rooting for Gaethje, but if he wins, it's got to be early. If it goes past first 2 rounds, he's like, Tony's gonna win the fight.
Yeah,
which I think is seems pretty.
I can't fucking
realistic.
Wait. I can't fucking wait. There was an announcement of someone, like, they were going to start airing, I think it was the drone racing on ESPN or something. And I was like, I might even tune into that just because there's fucking nothing competitive on.
Hey, we got a couple ideas of things to put on.
Yeah, that's true.
We got a couple ideas of things we need to put on. We need to reach back onto them or come up with our concrete concepts and try to put that out. You feel me? They've had well, we could do a podcast all the damn time. We could do a daily podcast if we wanted to, and there'd be stuff to talk about. We should probably maybe we'll do another one tomorrow, but talk about all the creative different things going on. We've been a part of a couple things, and
Say step back from your computer. Yeah, it started getting the audio guy started getting a little fuzzy there.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
That's weird because I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but talk about people that are being creative and doing different kind of things, because the whole coronavirus, it changes us. I know I had a meeting with an NBA guy this Saturday after the NBA got canceled. I know you've had how many meetings, different things canceled. So it's definitely affected us in some ways, but in some ways, people are sitting on their asses at home. They're answering emails, which is your deal. They're answering DMs, which is my deal. So, I don't know what it's going to mean to us, but generally, people have to be creative as shit and different than what they were a month ago.
Yeah, I think if we were to continue to do like the same thing, we'd be dead in the water. We have to adapt. That's why we're being creative and doing some other stuff on our, the different businesses.
Yeah. Hey, happy Tank Top Tuesday, Timmy.
It's tank top every day during coronavirus.
I wear this hoodie and these sweatpants like every damn day.
I'm surprised he hasn't said anything to me.
No, I got two different sets.
That
again?
Again. Yeah, pink hat again.
I got two sets of hoodies and pants, and I switch them out, wash them on the weekend, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Hey, use the code Timmy BS at ourcitycoffee.com. Get 15% off.
Tay, you got anything?
Goodbye.